Hello everyone. Today we came to this museum to talk about the Alash movement, the political and economical activity of the national intelligentsia.
The Alash movement, emerging in the early 20th century, marked the first organized attempt by Kazakh intellectuals to achieve autonomy and independence from the Russian Empire. Led by figures like Akikhan Bukikhanov, this movement aimed to establish a political and economic foundation for Kazakh sovereignty while preserving Kazakh culture, language, and the right to self-determination. The topic is highly significant today as it reveals the roots of Kazakhs' modern national identity and highlights the legacy of resistance against colonial oppression. About problematic issues in the movement. The Alash movement faced numerous challenges from political repression to cultural erasure. Akikhan Bukikhanov and his colleagues had to navigate the complex political landscape of the time, balancing aspiration from autonomy with the constraints imposed by Russian Empire. They contended with both external and internal opposition, facing pressure to assimilate and abandon traditional Kazakh ways of life. The movement's struggles provide insight into the difficulties of representing colonial powers while preserving cultural identity, which remains a relevant issue in post-colonial studies today.
Analysis of primary sources. Analyzing primary sources like Bukikhanov writing provides valuable insights into the ideology of Alash leaders. This article, including those in the Kazakh newspaper Kazakh, reveals the depth of committed in Kazakh independence and modernization. Bukikhanov advocates for educational reforms, economic self-sufficiency, and political representation, reflecting the movement's progressive nature. This document remains relevant today as it encapsulates the aspirations of generations that laid the groundwork for Kazakhstan later independence.
According to analytical approach, like causes and effects comparative methods, we can say that the emergence of the Alash movement can be attributed to various factors, including the spread of nationalist ideas and the rise of educated Kazakh elites inspired by European liberalism and nationalism. Alikhan Bukikhanov and his peers analyzed and adopted these ideologies, using them to frame their fight for independence. In a comparative analysis, the Alash movement shares similarities with other anti-colonial movements worldwide, such as the Indian independence movement led by Gandhi. However, Alash's unique blend of cultural preservation and political activism illustrates a distinctive approach to autonomy within the Soviet sphere.
So, according sources and the literature used to understand the Alash movement, our research references foundational texts such as writings by Alikhan Bukikhan in Kazakh newspaper and the various articles outlining his political vision, the Kazakh intelligence and the Alash order movement by historian Marta Bril-Olcott, providing a detailed analysis of movement Alash, the national identifier of Kazakhstan, the role of Alash movement by Zhanat Musagalieva, exploring the culture and the historical impact of the movement on modern Kazakh identify.
What we think when we hear Alash movement. Of course, their goals and ideals. What does it mean? The Alash movement, led by figures like Alikhan Bukikhanov, sought to secure political and cultural autonomy for Kazakhs. Their need included establishing secular government, the Alash Orda, promoting the education and protecting Kazakh lands from Russian settlers. There are a couple evidences with the primary sources. Alikhan Bukikhanov's writings emphasized the importance of Kazakhs having control over their own and resources, advocating for a Kazakh-led government to address local needs. Alash Orda's 1970 manifesto outlined the establishment of a self-governing Kazakh territory within Russia, promoting education and protecting Kazakh culture. And eventually, according to the analysis, the goals of the Alash movement challenged the colonial policies of the Russian Empire by asserting Kazakh self-determination. The leaders believed that without political autonomy, Kazakh culture and identity would be at risk of disappearing.
The list of used sources is crucial in the study of Alash movement and its social and political activities because it establishes credibility and academic integrity by demonstrating reliance on authoritative research. A diverse array of sources, including books, academic articles, primary documents, and dissertations, reflect a thorough investigation into the topic, enhancing the understanding of Alash movement by offering multiple perspectives and insights. So, for our research, we relied on primary sources from Ali Khan Bukikhan's writings, historical documents from the early 20th century, which provide direct insights into the movement's values and goals. Additionally, we consulted academic articles and historical analysis on the social and political impact of the Alash movement. These sources helped us present an accurate and comprehensive view of Alash's contributions to Kazakhstan national identity and their influence on later independence efforts.
Social and educational reforms advocated by Alash leaders. To talk about the statements, firstly I will explain that the Alash movement promoted secular education to replace religious schooling, aims at creating an educated Kazakh elite. This includes advocating for schools that taught Kazakh history, language and culture, while also encouraging industrial and agricultural reforms to modernize Kazakh society. So, according to the next detail, there's some evidence with primary sources. Alash leaders published articles and pamphlets discussing the importance of modern education and scientific knowledge for Kazakh. For example, Bukikhanov wrote extensively the need for secular schools to prepare Kazakh for modern world. Historical documents show the Alash Orda attempt to implement these reforms in phrasing Kazakh literacy and professional skills to build a capable Kazakh workforce. And last but not least is analysis. By promoting secular education, Alash leaders sought to foster a modern, self-sustaining Kazakh society. This was essential for reciting Russian culture dominance and for building a national consequences rooted in Kazakh identity and heritage.
In conclusion, the Alash movement stands as a testament to the resilience of Kazakh identity. Each leader's efforts contributed to the formation of a strong national consciousness that ultimately played a role in Kazakhstan's path to independence. So, personally, understanding the Alash movement's sacrifice inspires us to value our heritage and the freedom we know and enjoy. So, this legacy calls upon our generation to preserve and protect the cultural, political achievements initiated by the Alash movement.